in just a moment. Okay, so welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. As you can see, tonight we're talking about getting started. And this is the first of a series of 8 that I run. I try and do them every Wednesday night. There might be the odd one that I miss if I'm away at some other conference or something like that, perhaps. But generally, I do them every Wednesday night, and there's 8 in total. So, sorry. So the first 3, this one and the next 2, are to do with really the retail side of the business, getting started on things. And then 4 and 5 are about building your residual income, team building and supporting new team members. And then 6, 7 and 8 are kind of the personal skills, I suppose you'd call them, kind of personal development, setting goals, how important your attitude is, that sort of thing. Now, these are all recorded, so you don't have to wait kind of 6, 7, 8 weeks if you're interested in personal development or setting goals. I'll show you at the end of this webinar where the recordings are. Now, I just want to just highlight something that I've thought about a little while ago, and I do think about this quite a lot whenever I go on a webinar or go to a conference or seminar or Birmingham or anything like that. And that is that I read this phrase, and I think it's from Jim Rohn. It says, the purpose of education is not knowledge, it is action. So hopefully, if you've got a notebook and pen with you, as we go through this, you'll make a few notes of things, and with a bit of luck, you'll learn something that isn't just nice background knowledge to have, but actually it's something that will help you in your business that you can put into action tomorrow or next week or in the new year. So please have a think about that as we go through, because at the end I'm going to ask you if there is something in here that you can take on board to change what you're doing. So I hope you excuse me, I hope you do get something useful out of it. So tonight what we're covering is about getting started straight away. You don't really have to wait. You know, these days with the Facebook side, you can get started literally within 30 seconds of signing up. On the catalog side, you can start doing a few things immediately as well. I'm going to talk a bit about your welcome rewards. So I know people that recently joined. So a little bit about welcome rewards, a bit about on the catalog side, preparing the catalogs, planning what you're going to do with them, and then delivering and collecting those catalogs. And then a little bit on the Facebook side about getting started selling your products on Facebook as well. And then just finally the kind of the fulfillment part of the business, placing your order, receiving those goods from head office, and then delivering those orders to your lovely customers. So that's what we're going to cover. Hopefully it'll be about half an hour. And one of the most important things that I would say to all new starters is you should get started as soon as possible. Don't kind of think that you've got to read everything that comes your way, read every email, speak to everybody about the business, understand how it all works down to the letter. Get started straight away and then learn how to do it better after that. A great phrase you'll hear is, ignorance on fire is much better than knowledge on ice. So what can you do immediately? Well, first off, just tell your friends and family that you've started this new exciting business. You can start watching the video straight away on the Facebook side. If you go to, there's a couple of different ways, but they kind of both end up pointing to the same group of videos now. If you're following the 10 steps process, which is the one that I promote within my team, it's if you go to www.the10steps.info, and then there's a menu option there which is getting started online. So you can start doing that immediately. Even if you're not going to do loads on Facebook, you can start doing some things about telling your friends and family, because they will often, especially at this time of the year, order things from you to help you get started. And if you are doing the Facebook side, there's a Facebook support group called Kleeneze Online Sales. I think it's hints and tips actually, but tips and hints I've put there. You can join that group, request to join it, and there's loads of help and advice, especially on the online side, as you can see from there. Now, the catalogue should arrive 2 working days after you signed up, depending on what time of day you sign up, but within a couple of days. And so there's a few things that you need to do. Firstly, you need to get them ready to go out and either present them or deliver them. But also, as soon as they arrive, you should take 5, 6, 7 out of the box so that you can show them to your local friends and family straight away. So quick question for everybody, and this includes those of you who have been in the business for a while, or those of you who might have only just started. Are you either doing or planning to do just Facebook, or just catalogues, or both? Did I just ask you to type in? So Rose is doing both, that's good. Glyn, both, thank you. Ian's doing catalogues, yep. Anybody else got any thoughts? Yep, Dave and Lynn do both, I know. Katrina, hi Katrina. Good, good. Cats at the moment. John, oh, well done, John. Good. I always say if you can do both, but initially, sort of, if you focus on one, then that's brilliant. But don't discount the other just because maybe you're more familiar with one or whatever. I think if you can do both, you're going to hit different sets of customers and you'll earn money from both of them. So one of the most important things is to be aware at the beginning is to get off to as fast a start as possible, because in your first 60 days, I've said here it's in 30 days, but I'll explain on that in a moment. In your first 60 days, you get your welcome rewards. And this is free catalogues or dropship credits. And these free catalogues are worth a lot of money to you. A box of 50 catalogues would cost you 25 to 30 pounds, maybe I think it's 29 pounds at the moment. So you can get free catalogues in your first 60 days just by placing orders. So your first target is, it's actually your second target, but if you'll pass the first one while you're achieving this one. Your first target is to get 500 bonus points, which is about £600 worth of orders in your first 30 days. Because if you do that, you hit your kind of first lot of welcome rewards. Now, quick question for everybody. Placing £600 worth of orders in 30 days, do you think that that would be hard or easy? And for those of you who've been in the business for a while, if you can remember back when you first started off, did you have a quick start? Did you have a slow start? How did you find it at the beginning? Rose, yep, hard in that area, okay. Anybody else got any thoughts? Anybody else found it hard or easy? Slow at the beginning, but you have to stick with it, yep. Agree with that, Dave? Ian says easy to get started, yep. Good. I think it kind of depends, to be honest, but the way I like to look at it, if you think of £600 worth of orders, it always sounds quite a lot, especially at the beginning when you've just started and maybe you're not quite sure kind of, you know, how quickly things are going to go. What I would recommend you think about is, what it is really is, it's £150 a week, because you've got 4 weeks, 28 days, so £150 a week in orders. Now, if you're doing catalogues, for example, then I would say aim to deliver, if you've started off on the 250 catalogue pack, aim to deliver them all, excuse me, at least once a week. If you've got the time and you can get them out twice a week, even better. But if you deliver all 250 catalogues once a week, that's going to take you probably 8 to 10 hours, maybe a little bit more, depending on your area, whether it's lots of terraced houses or bigger houses. Now, on average, when you first start off, you'll be building up to probably slightly less than £1 per catalogue at the beginning. But certainly, if you put 250 catalogues out, you've got a pretty good chance of getting £100, £150 worth of orders from those. If you put those out twice a week, you've got an even better chance. And then on top of that, if you can get some Facebook orders or orders from friends and family as well to help you get started, you've got a fantastic chance of hitting that. The most important thing you can do, though, is get those catalogues out. There's no point getting a load of catalogues or starting on Facebook and intending to do loads of work on Facebook and then just kind of putting the catalogues in the corner and thinking, oh yeah, I'll get those started after the weekend. Get them out straight away, because they're not earning you any money sat in your own house. Now, the result of hitting that £150 a week for your first 4 weeks, or £600 worth of orders, is that you get your first income. You've earned your first lot of profit from that, 120 odd pounds or more. You will have received a bonus of another 150 full sets of catalogues. So this is within your first 30 days. You get 50 catalogues after you've placed £150 worth of orders, and then another 2 boxes or 100 catalogues after you place £600 worth of orders. If you do that again in your next 30 days, so after 60 days, you get another 100 catalogues for free. So these are your kind of money-making tools, your catalogues, so they're definitely worth going for. I always say work harder in your first 30 days than you wanted to, because you'll only get these free catalogues once at the beginning of your Kleeneze business. So don't miss out on that. Okay, you need to personalize your catalog. So when the catalogs arrive, you've obviously got you need to get your day slips, you've got your order forms in there, put your sticky labels on them, customize your day slips with sticky labels, or they might be pre-printed for you. And as you're preparing the catalogs, make every pack the same. So, you might have one in the middle, one at the back, order form in there. And I would say when you're putting the catalogs together, put one of the catalogs in upside down or back to front. And I'll explain why in a moment. Obviously, you need an order form in there because that's where the customers are going to write what they want on there. And you've got a couple of options really with the order form. Either you can put it at the front of the bag, in front of a catalogue, with maybe just the day slip in front of that. It's important that the day slip is at the front so your customers can immediately see, even if they're not going to look into the catalogue, they know what day you're going to come back and collect it. So you have the day slip at the front, the order form can be just behind that, and then the catalogue's behind that. Or the other option you can do is you can tuck the order form away inside the catalogue. Now the pros and cons to this are, if you've got the order form at the front, then obviously it's covering up one of the catalogues, so you can't see that very well. I know one team, Peter and Myrna, who often come on our webinar, they've suggested the other option is you can fold the order form in half, put it at the back, and that way you're kind of got the day slip at the front, the folded order form at the back, and then obviously the two catalogues, the one at the front and the one at the back, are then visible in the plastic bag even before they take them out. So you've got a couple of options to do that. Speak to your sponsor to see what they recommend. They all work, to be honest. As I say, there's some minor pros and cons about which one you want to do. The other thing that's really, really important is that you change the plastic bags regularly. Obviously, you don't have to change them every single time, although some people do. But if they've been sat out in the rain for a couple of days, they get very grubby. And if you put a grubby bag through somebody's letterbox, you have to think of it as like your shop window. People are just not going to want to open it and have a look at it if it just looks grubby and tatty. So a nice, clean, shiny bag, they're much more likely to open the catalogues. Now, you need to plan what you're going to do in this business. One of the big differences I find for people who join this, if they've been an employee before, or even if they haven't, one of the big differences between being self-employed as a Kleeneze distributor or having a boss that tells you what to do is your boss will tell you what time to come into work, what time you're allowed to go for lunch, what time you have to go home, and what to do in between. So you kind of don't really need much of a plan because all you do is follow what your boss tells you. But when you're your own boss, when you're self-employed, you don't have a boss telling you those things. So you can think, oh, this is good. I can have a lie-in, I can go for a cup of tea, and I can meet my friend for lunch. And then maybe after lunch, I'll think about getting these catalogues out. And it's so easy to end up not doing anything in this business. You've got to make a plan. If you were looking to earn £50 or £100 a week, you need to get your catalogues out. You need to commit to 10 to 15 hours a week at least. I would say more than that if you're serious. And you need to plan when you're going to do that. Are you going to go out at 10 in the morning till 12, or 2 in the afternoon till 4, or in the evenings, fitting it around your other commitments? Create a little weekly plan, I call it, where you've worked out how much you need to earn, how much time you want to put into it, and commit to using that time in your business. Don't just wake up each morning thinking, oh, well, if I feel like it, I'll put my catalogues out. Because you will always be able to find some excuses to why you don't do it. Now, when you're delivering, what I recommend is that you use a 6x4 routine. So what I mean by that is you deliver a catalogue to new houses every time you go out, but then once every 4 weeks, you come back to the beginning. So you go back, deliver back to the same houses that you delivered when you first started off. And you repeat that. And you keep going around every 4 weeks to the same houses, just crossing off the ones that, obviously if somebody says to you, no, I don't want a catalogue, thank you, then cross those off. But deliver to them all the time, whether they order or not. And you do that for 6 months, or at least 6 times, to give them a chance to have a look at it. Because what you're doing is you're becoming familiar to them. You're showing to the new customers that you're going to be delivering regularly, that you're reliable, and they're much more likely to order from you when they see that. Now, in terms of deciding where to deliver, I always recommend just start close to home. Print a map off if you can, or get a street map with your house in the middle of the map, and just basically go out your front door, turn left, and if you've got a little map, you can start highlighting the roads that you've been to, so you know where to go to next. Don't flit about. Don't sort of think, oh, I might try over that side of town, or I might try this side, and then maybe I might go over there. Just start off with your house in the middle and kind of gradually work outwards. And I would say deliver to every house. Don't prejudge. Sometimes you can go to a house and sort of think, oh, crikey, look at this one. You've got a washing machine in the garden. There's bicycles broken there. I think I'm going to put this catalogue through. I'll never see it back again. You will often find you get loads of orders from areas where it looks like it's a council estate or something like that. You sort of think, oh God, I'm not sure how I'm going to do well on this, and you'll get loads of orders from there. You might go to a more expensive area with electric gates and all sorts and think, oh, these people wouldn't want to buy from the catalogue, but you'll get some fantastic orders from there. So don't prejudge. Let the customer, the person in the house, decide if they want to order from you or not. And you will find that quite a lot of houses these days have little signs up saying no cold callers or no junk mail, but do deliver your catalogue to those houses. The reason for that is most people who've got signs like that up are elderly people that they don't want to be intimidated by people knocking on the door selling electricity or all sorts of bits and bobs. But actually, they really enjoy looking through the catalogue over a cup of tea. And once they get to know you and like you and trust you, they will become fantastic customers of yours. So don't miss out on that just by thinking, oh, I'm not allowed to deliver there. The only areas that I would suggest you avoid, and I'm not saying avoid, but just be aware of, and that is if you go to a block of flats, and if you can get in through the front door, and each door within the flats has its own letterbox, then that's absolutely fine. But if it's a block where you've got like a bulk set of letterboxes, say 10 boxes in a kind of a metal frame, if you know what I mean, and you might initially think, oh, this is brilliant, I can get 10 out and it only takes me 10 seconds. The problem with it is that when you come back to collect them, you might have a pile of 5 of them on the bottom there, and you've got no idea which of the 5 have put the catalogue out and which ones haven't. So you end up having to buzz on all of the doors and disturbing everybody, trying to find out which ones have put it in and which ones haven't. Now you can get around that. You can put little sticky labels on the catalogues and number them 1 to 10 or something like that, but just be aware of that. Now, when you are delivering, you will come across other distributors' catalogues. This company's been around for, well, even just doing the catalogue side for 30 years now. There are distributors all over the country. And the vast majority of them are just delivering to their regular customers now. So if you come across another catalogue, just ignore it. Carry on delivering anyway. That distributor might have forgotten the catalogue, or the customer might not really like him, and he might be really pleased to see another distributor in the area. So just ignore any of the catalogues that you see, deliver to everybody. The customer will tell you if they don't want another catalogue or if they're already happy with their existing distributor. Keep records as you're going round in your round book, so make sure you make a note of all the houses you deliver to, so that anybody who says they don't want one, you can cross that one off, so that when you go back to collect it, you're not wasting your time knocking on people's doors who might have given you the catalogue back anyway. Make sure that you're just kind of polite. So close gates behind you, walk on footpaths, don't walk across lawns. Really good idea just to chat to everybody that you come across. These people who are just normal people like you and me, if you're friendly and cheerful and just saying, oh, hi, I'm just delivering a catalogue, Kleeneze catalogue in the area, is it okay to pop one in for you? They'll often sort of say, oh, hello, yes, just pop it through, I'll have a look at it later on when I have a cup of tea. And because they've met you and they've seen how cheerful you are, they're much more likely to order from you. Now, when you're collecting the catalogues back, don't forget to take a few things. So firstly, you need your round book with you. so that you can see which houses you delivered to and which houses you didn't. You might think you can remember them all, but it's really important, because when you're going back to collect them up, well, not everybody's going to give you the catalogues back, so you need to keep track of, whether they ordered from you, whether you got the catalogue back, and so on. Make sure you take your thank you slips as well, and make sure you take your sorry I missed you slips, because not every catalogue is going to be out there, so you're going to need to pop a little sorry I missed you reminder slip through if they're not in the house when you knock on the door. So for each house in your round book, just make a little note as whether you got the catalogue back or not, whether they ordered or not, and whether they looked at it or not. And you can tell whether they looked at it because if the catalogue is back to front as you put it in, then chances are they didn't. It's possible they took it all out and put it all back in exactly the same. Most of the time you can tell that they've had a look at it because there's order forms the wrong way around and catalogues are all neatly tidied up or whatever. It's really important that when you pick up the catalogue on the doorstep, you check if they've written on the order form at that point. It's really easy to sort of think, oh, that's okay, I'll just put them all into my trolley, I'll whiz them home, and then I'll just go through them all at the end when I get home to see who's ordered and who hasn't. The trouble with that is I guarantee you will get an order form with a lovely order of kind of 50, 60 pounds on there, 7 or 8 items, and they've forgotten to write their name and address on the top. And you're thinking, oh God, I've just picked up 250 catalogues. Somewhere I picked up a £70 order and I've got no idea who it is. You might be able to work out who's in the middle somewhere or at the beginning or the end. But so just check on the doorstep. Even if they haven't put on their name and address or anything, you obviously won't know their name or telephone number, but at least you can write the house number, 27 Johnson Street or whatever. So at least then you know which house to go back to when you're delivering it. Now, if there isn't a catalogue there when you go back for it, just knock on the door. 9 times out of 10, it's right by the front door. They've just forgotten to put it out. So if you just sort of say, oh, hi there, I've just dropped the Kleeneze catalogue in a couple of days ago. Have you finished with it? As I say, 9 times out of 10, they've got it for you there anyway. Now, sometimes people will say, oh, sorry, I haven't had a chance to have a look at it yet. If they say that, they're indicating to you that they wanted to have a look and they just haven't had a chance yet. So always say to them, oh, that's okay, I could pick it up tomorrow or Thursday if that would be okay. Because then you're giving them time to have a look, and you will often get orders from those customers because they really appreciate the fact that you let them keep the catalogue for an extra day or two. If there's nobody in when you knock on the door, then just pop a little reminder slip through. Just because, as I say, 9 times out of 10 they intended to put it out, but they went off shopping or to work or whatever. So when they come home, they'll see your reminder slip in there, and then they'll put the catalogue out at that time. And when you're going back for these, we call them stragglers. When you're going back for these stragglers, then go back often. Go back the next day and the day after that. Go back at least 3 or 4 times. And each time you go back, knock on the door, put a reminder slip through. Because people are busy, they're forgetful. One other thing I would say is quite often you might find people are away for a week. So if I drop a catalogue and I know I'm going back on a Monday and I go back say on the Tuesday or the Wednesday and I haven't got it back, I'll go back one more time the following Monday. Because if they've been on holiday and they come back and they see the catalogue and it says that you're going to pick it up on the Monday, they might think it's only just been popped in, so they then put it out the following Monday. And all of this going back to stragglers, when I said earlier at the beginning, I remember I said don't flit about, print off a map and do near where you live. Because you're going to go back for these stragglers 2, 3, 4 times, that's why it's important to start locally. Because if you're having to drive 10 miles to the other side of town just to check if somebody's put a catalogue out or not, you're soon going to run out of time and money and patience. Okay, so that's pretty much covered what I was going to go through on the catalogue side. Now, on the Facebook side, there's loads and loads of hints and tips out there. Those getting started videos I mentioned right at the beginning are essential. You must look through those. So I'm just going to go through a few quick things here this evening. What you're doing on Facebook when you first start off is you need to build up what we call your Facebook footprint. And what I mean by this is, if you're joining and you're going to be working on Facebook mainly, you're going to be posting in lots of groups, doing lots of posts, and copying things and pasting things all over the place. If in the past, before you joined Kleeneze, you weren't on Facebook very often, maybe just liking the odd friend's post or posting the odd thing when, you know, the kiddie's birthday party or something like that, and all of a sudden you're posting 50 times in 50 different groups, Facebook is going to suspect that your account has been hacked, and it will put you on a restricted use. It basically bans you from posting in groups again. So you need to build that up gradually. Make sure that you do a lot of like normal Facebook stuff, commenting on friends' posts, liking them, you know, adding comments and things like that. And you can build up your activity so that Facebook sees that you're starting to be more active. Your Facebook profile is your shop window. And that's really important. If you've got a picture of, you know, I don't know, a dog throwing up, or a picture of your local football team or whatever, that might be great. That might be the whatever you want to put on there. But if you're running a business on Facebook, it needs to be a friendly picture, smiley picture of yourself, sort of friendly but professional. Now, what you need to do, basically, if you're selling on Facebook, is you'll create your own group, and it's all explained in those videos at the beginning, and also your sponsor should be able to help you. If it's you create your own group, and then you're joining 50 local groups. Now, if you're not in lots of groups at the beginning, join them gradually. Just, I would say, 5 to 10 a day. Don't try and join 50 all at once, otherwise, as I say, Facebook might get a bit suspicious. Once you've got your own group started off, start posting products in there first. So I would say at least 10 products from a variety of different catalogues, you know, the K-Lite, Christmas, Kleeneze. This is your shop window, if you like, so it needs to be active. And then every day in each group, your own group and in these other groups, it's really important to engage and interact in them, because, as I said, Facebook will notice if you're starting to engage and starting to post things much more actively, if you like, than you have done before, and it gets a bit worried that you might be going to hack everything. So it's really important that you start engaging with people. If somebody comments on a post, then reply back to that, and, you know, comment on other people's posts as well. You should be posting at least, and these are really absolute minimums, 1 or 2 products in every group, and bumping 1 or 2 of the products maybe that you posted yesterday or the day before. And it's really important to do this variety and to have your picture, if you like, your profile there every day, because people will buy from you because they get to recognize your name, they see your picture, they see the range of products. Because they get familiar with you, they start to realize that you're serious, and so they feel more comfortable ordering from you. And what you're doing, especially in your own group, is you're building relationships, building rapport with people. You will get to know all of your customers. There's a little story I'll tell you about one of my customers who had twins. And I knew she had twins. She was putting pictures of them up all over her Facebook profile, as you would. And we earlier on this year we did the personalized cushion. So for somebody's birthday, you could have a little cushion, either pink or blue for boys or girls, and you could have their name and their weight, birth weight, and date of birth. And this lady ordered some for her twins. So she gave me their names, dates of birth, and weights, and so on. And I noticed that the dates of birth were different. So I thought, actually, I was done a typo here. So I sent it back to her and said, "Oh, hi, Libby. Thanks for your order. You put the dates of birth for the twins as different. Which one should it be?" And then she came back and said, "Actually, that's true, because one was born just before midnight, and the second one was born just after midnight." And I thought, wow, what a fantastic story that is. And we had loads of conversations within the group about people with kind of like, you know, twins that were kind of really, you know, all sorts of stories of twins that were, you know, arguing when they were little and now best of friends when they're old, all sorts of things. All kind of rapport, which is really valuable within your group, because you get to know your customers really well like that. Now, whether you've got orders from your customers through Facebook or from your catalogue, or hopefully a bit of both, when you're ready to place your first order, the website that you order them on is our distributor's website, which is kleeneze.co.uk. Now your password for that, your login is your distributor account number. Your password is the one that you created when you signed up to the business. Now, as you're putting orders in, and the first time you do this, I recommend you do this with your sponsor because they can guide you through it. Make sure you put an order in so that you don't get any delivery charges. And if you are putting a partial order in, and what I mean by that is you might put 2 or 3 or 4 items in there and then say, right, I'm going to pick up some more catalogues this afternoon, so I'll put the rest in later. You can just log off, and then when you come back on again, the items that you've put in so far will be remembered, so you can then just add the rest of it to it before you put your order in. One of the things to be aware of is the delivery time is usually 2 working days, as long as you get the order placed by a certain time. So the cut-off time in the UK, excuse me, is 3:15 in the afternoon. I normally say aim to get your order in by 3 o'clock. So if you put an order in on a Monday by 3 o'clock, it'll get delivered to you on the Wednesday. You've got an advantage if you're in Northern Ireland because you've got right up until 9 PM in the evening and you'll get it 2 days later. If you put the order in after 3:15, say on the Monday, then it would be the Thursday when it arrives. It's just an extra day. Now, when the goods arrive, you'll get them in, as you can see there, boxes and blue plastic bags for the bigger items. And obviously your first job is just to unpack all of the boxes and sort them all out into the different customers' orders. The head office don't need to know which item is for which customer, that they're your customers, not Kleeneze's. And so what you then do is sort them all out into your customers' orders. And what I recommend is that as you're going through, you're putting the items into a carrier bag, and then I staple the blue receipt. You'll get the blue and quite often the pink copy as well, because the customer doesn't separate them. So I separate them at that point. I staple the blue receipt to the carrier bag, and then when you're going out with your 10, 20, 30 orders, then you know it's a lot easier to find which one's which if you've got the receipt stapled to the carrier bag there. I tend to use the empty boxes to hold the orders. So I often put 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 carrier bags within a box, put that in the car, and it's just an easy way to carry them to and from the car, assuming that you drive. And I keep the pink receipts at that point because that's my checklist. As I'm driving around delivering to my customers, I've got my list of pink order forms, so I know these are the orders that I've got in the car. When you deliver your orders, what you'll find is Facebook buyers will often collect from you. You can deliver to them as well. I often find if you deliver to them, they'll be a little bit more reliable because it's in a way it's easier for them. If you ask them to come and collect, obviously the better ones absolutely will. The ones who are less reliable will often find a reason not to. So you might find it's easier, if it's easy for you to get to them, it might be better if you go and deliver it to them. But when you are delivering, and certainly for your catalogue customers, this is what I recommend. Always give them a call first. I always just give my customers a call. I've got my pink slips, I'm in the car, and I just give them a quick call and say, oh, hi Sue, it's Chris from Kleeneze. I've got your order. Is it okay to pop it round? I might only be a minute away. And I often find that my customers really appreciate that because it's just good customer service. It lets them know you're on their way. So it gives them a minute or two just to get their purse or their wallet ready so they've got the money handy, they're not kind of scrabbling about. And secondly, if it's not convenient for them, if they're in the middle of a meal or they've got guests round or whatever, they can just say, oh, sorry, Chris, would it be possible to pop round tomorrow morning instead? And that does 2 things. One is obviously it doesn't disturb them, but secondly, it saves me a wasted journey as well. So I think that's a great kind of bit of customer service to do. And when customers want to pay you, there's 3 different ways. They can either pay with cash, they can pay with a check, or they can pay with a card. If they want to pay with a card, there's a customer payment line. Speak to your sponsors to get that telephone number. You can just ring them up, and kind of usually I just call them on my own phone while I'm on the doorstep, and then hand the phone to the customer so they can read out their card details. If they're writing checks, they can either write the check to Kleeneze or to yourself. If they make the check to Kleeneze, you have to pay it into a branch of the NatWest using the gyro slips. Make sure you get the correct gyro slips. Again, your sponsor can show you how to do that if you don't have any at the moment. and to make sure that that check gets credited to your account. And then what I do for the customer is, once they've paid me and everything, I hand over the goods. I just show them, I just say, oh, the blue order form there, thanks very much for your order. You can see our details on there, so that if you've got any problems with it at all, please just give me a call. I'm really happy to give you a refund or replace it if there's any problems with it or you're not happy with it. Really important to give that good customer service to your customers. Phew. Okay, guys, seems to be quite a lot to go through there, but we're just about wrapped up. So, quick check to make sure you're all wide awake and I haven't bored you all to death. Can you remember when I was saying about delivering the catalogues back to the same houses, how many weeks should you wait before you go back to the same house? Oh, John said 4 weeks. Oh, everyone's saying 4. Fantastic, guys. Well done. Glad to see you're all wide awake. Okay, for those of you who were listening when I was talking about Facebook groups, how many local, other than your own group, how many Facebook groups did I suggest you should be in? Yep, 50. Yeah, John, not up to 50, actually a minimum of 50. More than 50 is absolutely fine. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thanks, Glenn. 500, says Mac. Glad to see it, man. You're on the ball. Okay, to hit your welcome rewards, can you remember how much did I suggest you aim to place in your first 30 days in orders? Yep, John says £500, 600, yeah, thanks Katrina. Yeah, John, it was 500 bonus points, which is about £600 worth of orders, so £150 a week. Yeah, that's what Mac was saying there, £150 a week. And aim to do that in your first 30 days and you'll get yourself 150 free catalogues or a load of dropship credits if you want those as well. So, for those of you who are delivering catalogues, I want to ask you a question. Those of you who've been in the business for a while, you might just have a customer base now, but when you first started off, how many catalogues a week did you deliver? For those of you who have just started, how many catalogues a week are you delivering now or are you planning to deliver? So John, 200 a week, good, good. Katrina, 400 a week. Matt, 250 twice a week, excellent. Ian, 300 a week. Oh, that's brilliant, guys. So you're all kind of basically in the same ballpark. It's really a minimum of 200 to 250 a week. If you can do more than that, you will earn more money and you will build your business much quicker. So that's brilliant. Okay, guys. So thanks very much for joining us. I hope that all helped. We've been through quite a lot. We talked about trying to get started immediately. Don't wait until you've read everything before you get started. We talked about your welcome rewards, the importance of getting off to a quick start, getting your catalogues ready so that your customers get to recognize them, planning where you're going to deliver, delivering and collecting them. We talked a little bit about the Facebook selling and the groups and so on, and then how to place your order, what to do when you receive the goods, and delivering your orders. So, I hope that all made sense for you guys, and I hope that kind of all sunk in. Quick question for you. Is there anybody who is now thinking, okay, I've learned something here that I now need to do slightly differently tomorrow? And that could be what you teach to your team, or it could be actions you take yourself. Yeah, thanks for that, Dave. Thanks, Glenn. So anybody got anything they'd like to share with us? Anything they're going to start doing anything differently? Yeah, thanks, Mark. I will, mate. Oh, thank you, Katrina. That's kind of you. Okay, guys. So next week will be the last one before Christmas, and then I've got a week off. So we're going to be talking about your first 4 weeks. Now this has been recorded. I'm just going to stop the recording now. Bear with me a moment.